Drew Thompson, Market Development Agronomist with Pride Seeds, coming to you from my place in Haldeman County, where I'm spending the evening helping my daughters look after the horse. Because I don't have the skill set for braiding manes or grooming, I get left with mucking out the stall. And so as I'm shoveling this manure, I get to thinking about the nutrients within and some of the conversations that I've had this past winter and into the spring. And in particular, one conversation is around sulfur in corn. You know, most farmers are starting to understand that we need some sulfur in our corn production. We're starting to get a bit better understanding of how much we should apply, but there's still some confusion around when we should apply it. And I can understand that because we know that the soil microbes are going to release some as the soil organic matter cycles, but that's not going to be until later. We also know that if we put all our sulfur on up front, well, the form that's available to the crop is sulfate, which is an anion, and it runs the risk of being leached out of the soil with some of the heavy spring rains. So when should we apply it? So what I tried to do was to answer that question by doing some reading in the literature. And what you see is that the sulfur uptake of corn, early on, very, very little is required. It doesn't take much, maybe a couple, 3 pounds per acre is all we need. And then right around that V7, V8 stage, the uptake by the crop goes up dramatically and continues onward up until basically maturity. So what that says is we don't need a lot early, and we're going to get a little bit provided by the soil organic matter later in the season. So our crucial period is probably going to be that V7 through that rapid vegetative growth stage. So knowing that, we can start to get some strategies. If we're going to put all our fertility up front, we can include the sulfur in there, but we're probably going to have to add a little bit extra to offset for any potential leaching losses. If we're going to do our side dress or maybe a top dress with our nitrogen, we can mix the sulfur in with that. And so we put a little bit into our starter program, and then we side dress or top dress, and we should be good. If we're doing that side dress, you know, maybe a Y drop or a late season top up with some top dress, boy, we're probably putting it on a little bit too late. We're already at the point where the crop really wanted that sulfur. So if we are going to do that, we got to make sure that we've got enough up front early so that the crop doesn't get hungry. And so with all fertility programs, there's lots of different strategies and lots of different ideas. Have those conversations with your retailers, with other farmers, you know, come up with a good strategy. But I think the most important thing is, remember, we need that sulfur in the system. We're paying for it, so let's make sure that we get it into our crop and not lost to the environment. And with that, that's my quick Pride Seed Agronomy Minute. Here's hoping for pride in your fields and a great growing season in 2019.